As the Philippine Army's 7th Infantry Division and its United States Army counterparts conduct mutual load training using A-22 cargo bags with CH-47 Chinook helicopters from the 25th Combat Aviation Brigade, 25th Infantry Division as part of this year's exercise Balikatan, let us discuss the Philippine military's plans and program regarding its own heavy-lift helicopter project, with helicopter platforms mentioned being considered by planners. This news comes as the United States reportedly offered these large helicopters to the Philippine Air Force, as official Philippine diplomatic channels detailed it from Washington, D.C. as the country selected and considered the possibility of having such a helicopter for the Air Force to acquire, which gave the service branch much of the lift it needed in the time available. 3 American lawmakers recently met their Filipino counterparts, which may have helped advance the Philippines' goal for additional military aid. This U.S. House resolution is separate from the U.S. Senate Enhanced Resilience Act, PERA, proposed by U.S. Senators Bill Hagerty, TN, and Tim Kaine, VA, which requests $500 million United States dollars USFMF for the Philippines annually from FY 2025 to FY 2029. This is also separate from the $100 million USFMD grant offered by the U.S. for the purchase of helicopters to replace the cancelled purchase of Russian Mi-17 HIP helicopters. The Philippines is currently planning to buy Chinook heavy-lift helicopters from the United States, after cancelling a 12.7 billion peso $227.35 million deal with Russia to avoid sanctions. Manila's ambassador to Washington said, the cancellation of this contract was mainly triggered by the war in Ukraine. Even though it is expected that there will be sanctions that we will receive from the United States and Western countries, it is clearly not in our interest to continue and implement this contract, Ambassador Jose Manuel Romualde told reporters in a virtual forum. It is noteworthy that Philippine Ambassador to the United States Manuel Romualde was very interested in the idea of procuring CH-47 Chinook helicopters for use by the Philippine Air Force as part of the service branch's aviation plans, thereby pushing this topic to the forefront. Discussed on this blog site, considering the content of the news regarding this procurement option, the United States government is in this way offering such a helicopter to the Philippine Air Force along with the S-70I Black Hawk combat utility helicopter, which is currently in production, which will be produced, delivered next year, and the F-16V Viper multi-role fighter jet, which is one of the candidates for the Philippine Air Force's multi-role fighter jet program, both of which were also offered by the United States to the current administration. Since the United States has offered it and the Philippine Air Force has been considering it for quite some time, it is possible that the asset could become a reality if it actually provides what the Philippine Air Force currently needs in terms of airlift capability. The Philippine government announced its decision to acquire Chinook military helicopters from the United States worth $100 million United States dollars to strengthen the capabilities of the country's armed forces. The decision came after the cancellation of a previous deal with Russia to purchase 16 heavy-lift helicopters worth $215 million due to concerns over international sanctions following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. stated that this decision was aimed at modernizing and enhancing the Philippines' military capabilities. A U.S. bid to sell the Boeing CH-47 Chinook has been discussed since last year by former Philippine Defense Minister Delin Lorenzana and his American counterpart. The Philippines is by far the largest recipient of U.S. military aid in the Indo-Pacific region, having received armored aircraft, light vehicles and other military equipment as well as training worth $1.14 billion from 2015 to 2022, which includes $475.00 million in foreign military funding to the Philippines, one of the largest in the Southeast. The $100 million acquisition will include helicopter purchases, crew training and equipment maintenance. The Philippine government believes that this collaboration will strengthen bilateral relations between the two countries. The military funding underscores improved defense ties between the treaty allies under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., whose predecessor Rodrigo Duterte shifted his country's foreign policy away from foreign policy. The United States will seek warmer relations with China. One important factor influencing this shift in procurement lies in the United States' financial support for the Philippine military. In this context, the United States provided $100 million in foreign military funds to the Philippines. These funds are expected to be used for the acquisition of helicopters. The Chinook air vehicle is renowned for its ability to transport heavy loads and operational efficiency. The Chinook helicopter manufactured by the Boeing has proven itself as a reliable helicopter and an effective means of transportation in various military missions. With its ability to transport troop equipment and supplies across difficult terrain, making it a valuable asset especially in the context of the Philippine national defense, which covers a scattered archipelago, the acquisition of Chinook helicopters not only has a direct impact on the Philippines' military capabilities but also has the potential to provide economic benefits. With this Chinook helicopter purchase contract, it can create employment opportunities and the involvement of local industry in maintaining production processes and logistical support, creating a wider positive impact on the Philippine economy as their defense capacity increases. The Philippine Minister of Defense, who was also present at the press conference, emphasized that Chinook is a strategic choice that will increase responsiveness and the mobility of the Philippine Armed Forces in various situations. It is hoped that the helicopter procurement process will begin immediately and be carried out transparently and in accordance with provisions, safety standards and international requirements. With the acquisition of these Chinook helicopters, the Philippines is committed to continuing to update and strengthen its military capabilities to safeguard the country's sovereignty and provide an effective response in emergency and conflict situations.